Hello, welcome to Wednesday and happy hump day for this week. So you might have been back at work for a little while, or perhaps you've only been back at work for the last week or so. But whatever the situation, after you've been on holidays, it's easy to find the getting back into work routine hard, to find that your motivation is missing and procrastination is your friend. So if your motivation is feeling a little low, I'm going to give you some ideas to help kickstart, not the motivation, but kickstart you getting some things done and you making progress. Firstly, just start. We have this really curious notion that motivation somehow just appears. It actually doesn't. Motivation comes from starting. So when you don't want to do something, the best course of action is to just sit down and do it. But to give yourself a little mini goal and say, I'm going to work on this for 15 minutes, and after that, I'm going to do something else. What you often find is once you've started, those 15 minutes will turn into longer because you're already in the zone, you're focused and you're working. Secondly, set daily intentions. At the start of each day, or even better, perhaps the night before, think about what it is that you want to achieve during that day, to get really specific about what it is that you want to do and write it down. When it's written down, it's far harder to ignore. When it's just a thought bubble that's in your head, it's easy to let that go. Shift your environment. That's the next idea, because our working environment has a huge impact on how we feel. So if you feel like your mojo's missing, take it outdoors, go to a cafe, go to the park, go somewhere where you're in a different state to your normal working place. The shifting of the pattern that then will happen is because that different environment has helped you to think differently. Make it public. Tell people you want to achieve something, that you want to do something. Makes it far harder to not do something when we've already told people that we've committed to achieving a goal. For some people, having an accountability buddy helps as well. That's the person who is going to help them get motivated, make sure that they achieve what it is that they're setting out to achieve. Get physical. We all know that when we exercise, we feel better. The exercise releases endorphins, and those endorphins help us feel good about ourselves. When we feel good about ourselves, it's easier for that thing that we're finding hard, that we're procrastinating about, it's easier to then get it done. And one that you may not think of, listen to music. There's heaps of research which shows the impact that music has on how we feel. And there's also great research which shows that music impacts how motivated we can feel. I certainly know that when I'm at the gym, certain types of music motivates me to run faster, to continue to go. And what an article in Scientific American shows is that music can distract us when we're feeling pain or fatigue, and that it can even promote metabolic efficiency. And so when people are listening to music, they typically run faster, they might cycle for longer, or even swim faster without realizing it. So just as music can motivate how you exercise, it can also motivate how you work. And lastly, track your progress. We find making progress motivating. And so if you're finding it hard to get started, if you're finding it harder to keep going, make sure you've got little mini goals, things that you're able to see that you are clearly making progress. So break that big thing down into smaller pieces. It can even be breaking it down into half-hour blocks of things that you need to work on through the day, or with a particular project. You know, it was the well-known author Robert Louis Stevenson who said, "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant." That's great advice, because it is. It's about all those little things that you do every single day that help you get to where it is you want to get to. Good food for thought. Take care, and I'll see you next week.